Welcome everyone. 2014 is a pivotal year for IBM. We've all heard the exciting news about the Watson Group and how IBM is shaping itself to take Watson-infused solutions to market and fundamentally change many industries in the world around us. In 2014, we are also focusing our efforts as brands to create new buyer-focused segments and to go to market with bundled solutions that allow us to deliver a much more tightly integrated offering to our clients. This means a change in the way we go to market, the way we sell, the way we engage with our clients. This shift in our strategy requires us all to make a similar shift as individuals and as teams. So in context of this changing landscape, I'd like to focus in on some sporting analogies. As you all know, 2014 is set to become another epic year in the world of sport. Super Bowl 48, Sochi Winter Olympics, and this summer the Soccer World Cup in Brazil, to name just a few. 47 years after the first Super Bowl was played in Los Angeles before a less than capacity crowd, let's take a look back at just a few of the ways that the game of pro football has changed. Right now, we're actually looking at Pro Football Championship game from 1940. What a difference from the modern game. Looking at playing fields, conditions have improved greatly since back then, when there were only all grass fields and of course no domed stadiums. Today, 7 teams play either in a permanently domed or retractable domed stadium. Great improvements have been made to the look and feel of artificial grass to the point where it's hard to tell the difference. League expansion. When the Super Bowl era began with the '66 season, the National Football League had just 15 teams. A merger with the AFL in 1970 brought this to 26, and since then 6 new expansion teams have brought this to 32. Moving forward to a view of the modern game, instant replay. The use of this as a major viewer enhancement to NFL broadcasts pretty much began as the Super Bowl era was dawning. This innovation was a perfect fit for football given the time between plays to run replays. Of course, it made every viewer into a referee without a whistle. The superimposed first down TV line, a development that really doesn't affect how the game is played, but heightens fans' enjoyment through the magic of technology. To viewers, the use of this first and 10 line is so well integrated it appears to be part of the field. Of course, the most significant change to the game itself is to be the evolution from a running game to a passing game. Today, the quarterback has become the most highly paid player on the field, and the quarterback's protector the second most important player on the field. It changed the entire economic landscape of football and redefined the game. And the teams that got the significance of this change most quickly were the most successful. So having seen the changing landscape for pro football, much of which was of course supported by technological innovations, let's focus on some examples of how technology has fundamentally changed not just football, but many other sports. Body armour, a big difference from the kit of today. Olympic bobsleighs. Now this looks little more than a glorified sled that our kids would use today. And this sure looks like fun. I love how the guy at the front is actually wearing a tie. But of course, when we compare to today's aerodynamic bobsleighs, there's a big shift. Women's tennis, a far cry from the female athletes in the modern game and the carbon rackets that they use. So we've looked at change in sport driven by the changing world in terms of surrounding environment, socio-economic changes and technological advance. But what about changes that were driven from within? Change is driven by a competitor who dared to just think differently and ultimately change a sport forever.
The 1968 Olympic Games proved to be a turning point in the history of the high jump event. Into the Mexico City Olympic arena came not only a new name to the sport, but a new approach, which was to revolutionize the high jump event. Dick Fosbury from the United States demonstrated a new style of high jump, which some considered strange and awkward. It was a jump he had devised in the previous years, and one which unsettled his opponents. While the crowd at first saw him as a novelty, his continued success at clearing the ever-increasing height soon made it apparent he was a serious contender. Valentin Gavrilov from the Soviet Union failed at his attempt of 2.22 meters. while Fosbury and his US teammate Edward Carruthers cleared their way to a jump-off. The bar sat at 2.24. Carruthers failed, and Fosbury took his new style of high jump over the bar and into the history books. Fosbury had won his gold. Within a few years, the Fosbury flop had become the standard method of jumping in this great Olympic sport.
What about those who've been forced to adapt through circumstances thrust upon them that they were simply not expecting? What about the need to adapt in order to survive? Well, let's take a look at the Lindsey Vonn example. On the 5th of February 2013 in Austria, Lindsey Vonn was competing in a Super G downhill event. Around 42 seconds into her run, she lost balance on her right leg while landing a high-speed angled jump. She flipped in the air, landed on her back and smashed through a gate before coming to a halt. The four-time overall World Cup winner and 2010 Olympic downhill champion received medical treatment on the slope for 12 minutes before being taken by helicopter to hospital. She had torn her anterior cruciate ligament, medial collateral ligament in her right knee and fractured her lower right leg, a truly horrific injury. For the following 8 months, Vonn underwent surgery, back-breaking physiotherapy, and despite sustaining an injury that meant she should really never have been able to ski again, she started skiing competitively in early November 2013. By December, she was finishing back in the top 10 regularly and rapidly climbing back up the world standings. To be able to do this, she has had to change and adapt her skiing style significantly and change her training routines totally. Her entire approach to skiing has had to change in order to get back to this level. So how does this relate to us? Well, we can of course draw parallels from this in every facet of our lives as IBM solution sellers, leaders and teams. The environment around us changes rapidly. Technology moves at an incredible pace. Buyers get smarter. The world becomes ever more connected. Our competitors continue to evolve and adapt. In order for us to continue to thrive in this volatile and fast-moving landscape, we must adapt. We must stay one step ahead of our competitors and exceed our clients' expectations at all times. If we are to lead our clients to this new vision, then we must be the agents of change, not the followers. So here in this event and in these tracks, we will give our teams the tools and applied knowledge to help IBM lead the way. As leaders of change, we will drive this transformation. We, in this room, are the catalysts for that change.